going on YouTube? So today I'm going to give you a review of E46 M3. I thought it was best to give you a review from an actual owner's perspective. I know a lot of people just borrow someone's car and give like a 10-minute review. But I've lived with this car for 2 years now, and I think it's time for me to give you a very honest review of this car. So let's get into it. So what is an E46 M3? Well, in many eyes it's regarded as one of the greatest M3s built. And that's because under the hood it has a 3.2 liter straight six, putting out 333 horsepower, 269 foot-pounds of torque, and will do 0 to 60 in about 5.1 seconds. Now that's in stock form. This car is not stock. If you want to go over and see what's been done to this car, you can just click the card right up here. It'll give you a link to the walk around where I went over everything that's been done to the car. So going back to that engine, the S54 is quite literally the heart and soul of this car. It makes this car one of the greatest M cars ever built. So 333 horsepower may not sound like a lot by today's standards, but trust me, it's still plenty of power to get you up to speed. I think what differentiates this car and what makes it so great is the throttle response. There's no turbos to deal with, no turbo lag. Just drop it down a gear, floor it, and you're up and going. And certainly the individual throttle bodies certainly help with the throttle response. It's just instantaneous. Now a lot of people's criticism of the S54 is that the engine note, the exhaust sound isn't that great. It's a little bit too raspy. And stock, I think they're right, but if you put the right exhaust setup on the car, it sounds absolutely wonderful. And that to me is the biggest problem with the current generation M3 and M4. I mean, no offense to the people that own the car, but they sound, in my opinion, they sound absolutely horrible. The V8 on the E92 series was the last great engine note for an M3 in my opinion. But the one thing that keeps people coming back to this car is that engine. Revving to 8 grand never gets old. And did we talk about handling? Yeah, let's talk about handling. It is absolutely planted. Of course, from factory, these cars are a great handling car, but with a little bit of upgrades, you can turn this car into a back road carver. So while we're on the highway cruising, we can talk about the interior comforts of this car. So this car is very, very comfortable to go on cruises with. So these seats, while they could do with a bit more support, they are extremely comfortable to sit in. They do hold you in place when you're carving up corners. It's still a very nice place to sit. The pedal box is very, very well placed for heel toe, and it's extremely driver focused. The seating position in this car is fantastic. The gear shifter is right where you need it. Nice thick steering wheel, nice 10 and 2 notches. The only part of the interior that really does show its age is the infotainment system here. It is very simple. You just have your preset radio stations and your climate control, and there is aftermarket support, so you can have a nice double DIN unit here. But the one thing I don't understand why BMW did this is the aux cable. So I have my aux mod down here. It is a mod, believe it or not. What's stupid about it is the radio, there is an input at the back of the standard radio for an aux input, but you have to buy it. And the even stupider part is BMW themselves will sell you that mod. So I don't know why they just didn't make the aux cable standard with the car instead of you having to buy it and add it on yourself after the fact. So I think one of the reasons that this car is creeping up in value is because it's very raw, it's very driver focused. It's not full of electronic nannies that some of the newer cars have. I feel very artificial. So for example, this car doesn't have electronic steering. It has an old-fashioned hydraulic rack, and the steering response with it is just fantastic. Any slight turn of the wheel, the car like darts around. There's no like the dead spot in the wheel. You turn it, and nothing happens. As soon as you turn it, there's an immediate response. And there aren't 15 different driver settings for you to adjust. It's a simple traction control off and sport mode. So sport mode, I'll show you real quick. We'll just tighten up the throttle response. It'll make the throttle so much more sensitive. And really, that's all you need. The car itself, while it's aged very well, it still looks modern, it looks aggressive. There are aftermarket support options for you to make it a bit more aggressive. This particular car has the CSL front lip and the CSL rear diffuser added to it, which I think really sets off the look of this car. Especially the rear end. That diffuser makes it look that much more aggressive. But there's a host of other upgrades you can do to the car. Performance upgrades, there's a whole lot of those too. But the only problem is they do cost a lot of money. Being for an M car, aftermarket parts are a bit costly. Now this car can either be had with 6-speed manual transmission or an SMG, which is kind of like a manual car, but instead of a clutch, it's an automated clutch. You just deal with the paddles. In my personal opinion, the only way to get this car is with the 6-speed. SMGs, they come with a whole headache worth of problems, like SMG pumps, going out, rebuilding SMGs. There's just too much headache in my opinion. So if you really want one, you have to get a manual. And the problem is they're getting harder and harder to come by, because people are holding on to them for dear life. That's a good reason. So if you wanted to get an E46 M3, you should definitely not go with the cheaper route and cheap out with one, because you're just going to run into a host of problems with the car. A good, well-sorted, clean one, coupe 6-speed manual will run you here in Canada at least upwards to 18 to mid-20s. You can definitely find M3s cheaper than that. You can find them around 10, 15, even $12,000, but I don't suggest going with that route because you're going to have a host of problems. It's going to be probably going to be abused. Some things were neglected because the previous owner just couldn't afford it. So definitely go and spend the money and get yourself a well-sorted one. That being said, if you are looking to get one of these, be ready to keep up with the maintenance. Maintenance in this car is a bitch. If you want to see how much it's cost me to go over what I've done to this car, you can click the link here. I've done over everything that I had to do to the car, go over 2-year span, and more. And that's not even like the worst case. People have subframe cracks, vandals problems. Knock on dashboard, I don't have any of those, but these cars can be a money pit if you don't get the right one, so one always has to be wary of that. So growing up, this car was always my obtainable dream car. We all have dream cars, some of which are absolutely not attainable realistically, but this was always one of them. And you always hear people say, don't meet your heroes, don't drive your heroes, because you'll always be disappointed. Well, this car was everything that I expected it to be and more. So yeah, that's my review of the E46 M3. Like I said, it was my dream car and it's lived up to the hype, and it is a fantastic car, and that engine will just keep making you come back for more. So yeah, that's it guys, thanks for watching. If you like the videos, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time, alright?